Berry bushes, missing people theory, refers to a concept proposed by David Paulides, a former police detective and researcher, who has investigated numerous cases of individuals who have mysteriously disappeared in national parks and wilderness areas. Paulides has noted a recurring theme in many of these disappearances: the presence of berry bushes or berry-picking locations near the site where the person was last seen. He suggests that there may be a connection between these berry bushes and the disappearances, proposing that some unknown entity or force could be using the bushes as a lure or a portal to another dimension. While this theory may seem far-fetched, Paulides points to the unusual circumstances surrounding many of these cases, such as the lack of evidence or tracks left behind, the failure of search dogs to pick up a scent, and the fact that many of the missing individuals seem to vanish without a trace. Some believers in this theory speculate that the berry bushes could be a marker or a signpost for an interdimensional doorway, a sort of natural portal that allows passage between our world and another realm. Others propose that the berry bushes might be a food source or attractant for an unknown predator, possibly of extraterrestrial or supernatural origin, that is responsible for the disappearances. Paulides has compiled his research into a series of books titled Missing 411, which documents the strange and unexplained disappearances in national parks and wilderness areas, often highlighting the proximity of berry bushes to the last known location of the missing person. Biblical aliens refers to the idea that extraterrestrial beings or advanced technologies may have played a role in the events and narratives described in the Bible. Proponents of this theory point to various passages in the Bible that they believe could be interpreted as descriptions of alien encounters, advanced technology, or supernatural phenomena that might be explained by the presence of extraterrestrial intelligence. For example, some interpret the book of Ezekiel's description of a wheeled vehicle descending from the sky as a possible account of a spacecraft or UFO sighting. Others suggest that the sons of God, mentioned in Genesis 6, who are said to have intermingled with human women and given birth to the Nephilim, could be a reference to extraterrestrial beings intervening in human affairs. The idea of advanced technology in the Bible is also highlighted by those who believe that the Ark of the Covenant may have been a powerful technological device, possibly of alien origin, rather than a purely religious artifact. Some ancient astronaut theorists propose that the miracles and supernatural events described in the Bible, such as the parting of the Red Sea or the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, could be explained by the advanced capabilities of extraterrestrial beings. While these interpretations are not accepted by mainstream biblical scholars or religious authorities, they persist in popular culture, and among those who are open to the idea of extraterrestrial influence on human history and religion. The concept of biblical aliens has gained traction in recent years, with the popularity of books, documentaries, and television series exploring the topic, such as Erich von Däniken's Chariots of the Gods, and the History Channel's Ancient Aliens. Believers in biblical aliens often argue that the traditional religious explanations for these events are insufficient, and that a more technologically advanced intelligence could provide a plausible alternative explanation for the seemingly miraculous or supernatural occurrences described in the Bible. Bicameralism is a concept proposed by psychologist Julian Jaynes in his 1976 book, The Origin of Consciousness in the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. Jaynes suggests that ancient humans had a different form of consciousness compared to modern humans, characterized by a bicameral mind in which the brain's hemispheres operated more independently. In this bicameral state, Jaynes proposes that the right hemisphere of the brain generated auditory hallucinations, which were perceived by the left hemisphere as the voices of gods, spirits, or ancestors, guiding the person's actions and decisions. According to Jaynes, this bicameral mentality was prevalent in ancient civilizations, as evidenced by the frequent references to divine voices and visions in ancient texts, myths, and religious practices. He argues that the development of writing, complex language, and societal changes around 3,000 years ago led to the breakdown of the bicameral mind and the emergence of modern self-awareness, introspection, and consciousness. While Jaynes's theory remains controversial and is not widely accepted by mainstream psychologists, it has garnered interest from various fields, including literature, philosophy, and anthropology. Some researchers have drawn parallels between the experiences of individuals with schizophrenia, who often report auditory hallucinations, and the proposed bicameral mentality, suggesting that these experiences may reflect a re-emergence of the ancient mode of consciousness. The concept of bicameralism has also inspired various forms of creative expression, such as literature and music, exploring the idea of a divided consciousness and the potential for accessing alternative states of mind. Bicameral mind hypnosis refers to a controversial theory combining Julian Jaynes' concept of the bicameral mind with modern hypnotic techniques. Proponents argue that hypnosis may access remnants of an ancient consciousness structure where the brain's hemispheres operated more independently. They suggest that trance states induced by hypnosis resemble the proposed bicameral mentality, characterized by heightened suggestibility and dissociation. Some practitioners claim to use hypnosis to temporarily reactivate bicameral consciousness, potentially tapping into intuitive or unconscious mental processes. Anecdotal reports describe hypnotic subjects experiencing voice-like thoughts perceived as external, similar to the divine voices Jaynes attributed to ancient humans. Researchers have noted similarities between hypnotic phenomena and certain symptoms of schizophrenia, both of which some link to bicameral mind processes. Advocates point to the vivid imagery and unconventional thinking often reported during deep hypnosis as evidence of accessing archaic mental structures. While lacking rigorous scientific support, the concept has inspired exploration in fields like consciousness studies, psychotherapy, and creative arts. Some theorize that pharmaceutical companies hide cures and vaccines to profit from ongoing treatments. There's a perception that these companies prioritize financial gain over public health. The theory gains traction from various sources. One compelling aspect is the history of pharmaceutical companies prioritizing profits over ethical considerations. Instances where drug prices skyrocketed or harmful side effects were downplayed contribute to this skepticism. Additionally, the existence of patent laws allowing companies to monopolize treatments further fuels suspicions of manipulation for financial gain. Moreover, whistleblowers from within the industry have come forward, alleging suppression of effective treatments in favor of profitable ones. These elements combine to create a narrative where distrust in pharmaceutical motives is justified, fostering belief in this theory. Big Soy is a theory proposing a grand conspiracy where a small group orchestrates societal changes through various means, including soy products. It suggests that these individuals, possibly within governments and corporations, aim to render the population more subservient by promoting relaxation and dependence. This could lead to increased control over daily life, as people relinquish decision-making to authorities. Believers argue that the theory encompasses more than just dietary influences. They point to the widespread implementation of soy in everyday products beyond traditional food items. Soy is used in cosmetics, plastics, and even biofuels, which proponents claim further reinforces its purported effects on human behavior. According to this view, the incorporation of soy into various industries serves a dual purpose, allegedly contributing to the physical and psychological effects proponents suggest, while also supporting the theory's claims of a deliberate, multifaceted agenda. Critics of the Big Soy theory argue that while soy's versatile applications are undeniable, attributing nefarious intent to its widespread use lacks empirical support and overlooks the extensive research demonstrating its benefits and safety in diverse applications. They contend that the theory's assertions of covert manipulation through soy products are speculative and unfounded. Despite skepticism, believers point to societal shifts towards passivity and loss of agency as potential indicators of this clandestine manipulation. Some cite the prevalence of soy products in various aspects of daily life as evidence supporting their claims. They argue that these shifts align with the theory's premise that influential entities exploit soy's versatility to exert covert control over societal behavior and decision-making processes. The Bilderberg Group is an annual private conference attended by influential figures from politics, business, media, and academia, primarily from Europe and North America. The secretive nature of the meetings, with no official minutes or records released to the public, has led to numerous conspiracy theories about the group's true purpose and influence on global affairs. Some believe that the Bilderberg Group is a shadow world government, working behind the scenes to control international politics, economics, and social policies in favor of a globalist agenda. Proponents of this theory point to the high-profile attendees, including prime ministers, presidents, CEOs, and royalty, as evidence of the group's immense power and ability to shape world events. They argue that the private nature of the meetings allows attendees to discuss and plan strategies without public scrutiny or accountability, potentially enabling them to coordinate efforts across nations and industries. Conspiracy theorists often link the Bilderberg Group to other alleged secret societies, such as the Illuminati or the Freemasons, suggesting a larger network of elites working together to maintain their power and influence. Some speculate that the group's discussions and decisions have led to significant political and economic outcomes, such as the creation of the European Union, or the selection of presidential candidates in various countries. While the Bilderberg Group maintains that its meetings are simply forums for open dialogue and the exchange of ideas, the lack of transparency has fueled suspicions and theories about its true intentions. Critics argue that the secretive nature of the meetings, combined with the influential positions held by many attendees, creates an environment ripe for potential abuse of power and the advancement of agendas that may not align with the public interest. Despite the lack of concrete evidence to support many of the conspiracy theories surrounding the Bilderberg Group, the organization's opacity and the high profile of its participants continue to generate speculation and mistrust among those who believe in the existence of hidden power structures shaping global affairs. Bill Hicks is Alex Jones refers to a conspiracy theory suggesting that the late comedian Bill Hicks faked his death and assumed the identity of right-wing radio host Alex Jones. Proponents of this theory point to physical similarities between the two men, including facial features and mannerisms. They also note that both Hicks and Jones hail from Texas and share a penchant for passionate confrontational rhetoric. Some believers claim that audio analysis of their voices reveals matching vocal patterns and inflections. The theory posits that Hicks, known for his anti-establishment views, reinvented himself as Jones to continue spreading his message through a different persona. Supporters argue that the timing of Hicks's reported death in 1994 and Jones's rise to prominence in the late 1990s aligns suspiciously well. They suggest that Hicks's purported transformation into Jones was orchestrated by powerful entities to control and direct public discourse. Theorists often cite instances where Jones appears to break character, claiming these moments reveal glimpses of Hicks's comedic style and personality. Some adherents believe that subtle references and inside jokes in Jones's broadcasts serve as coded messages acknowledging his true identity.
You got me, okay? Are you happy now? You bastards? Yes, I am Bill Hicks. Or to be more accurate, you didn't get it all, did you? You didn't get the full conspiracy. I played the character, Bill Hicks, for 15 years with my accomplice, Kevin Booth. And we fooled you all. The master actor, the master genius. And then I decided to bring forward an even more incredible persona, that of Alex Jones.
Biogenic oil refers to the theory that oil and other fossil fuels are not derived from the remains of ancient plants and animals, as is widely accepted by the scientific community, but are instead produced by ongoing biological processes deep within the Earth. Proponents of this theory, also known as the abiogenic petroleum origin hypothesis, suggest that hydrocarbons are continuously generated by non-biological chemical reactions in the Earth's mantle, and that these hydrocarbons then migrate upward to form oil and gas deposits. They argue that the presence of hydrocarbons in seemingly unlikely places, such as deep within the Earth's crust or on other celestial bodies like comets and asteroids, supports the idea that oil can be formed without the need for organic matter. Some advocates of the biogenic oil theory point to the replenishment of certain oil fields as evidence that the Earth is constantly producing new oil, rather than relying on a finite supply of fossil fuels. They also suggest that the distribution and composition of oil deposits around the world are more consistent with a deep Earth origin than with the traditional fossil fuel theory. Additionally, proponents argue that the biogenic oil theory could explain the presence of oil in regions where there is little evidence of ancient sedimentary basins or the conditions necessary for the formation of fossil fuels. While the biogenic oil theory has been promoted by some scientists and researchers, it remains a minority view within the scientific community, with the vast majority of geologists and geochemists supporting the fossil fuel theory. Critics argue that the evidence for biogenic oil is limited and often based on misinterpretations of geological and geochemical data, and that the fossil fuel theory provides a more comprehensive and well-supported explanation for the origin and distribution of oil and gas deposits. Despite the lack of widespread acceptance in the scientific community, the biogenic oil theory continues to attract interest from those who are skeptical of the conventional understanding of fossil fuels and those who are interested in exploring alternative explanations for the Earth's energy resources. Biome over genome is a phrase that emphasizes the importance of an organism's environment and the microbes living within and around it, rather than solely focusing on the organism's genetic makeup. This concept suggests that the microbiome, which is the collection of microorganisms that inhabit a particular environment, such as the human gut or skin, plays a more significant role in shaping an organism's health and behavior than previously thought. Supporters of this idea argue that the complex interactions between an organism and its microbiome can influence various aspects of its biology, from nutrient absorption and metabolism to immune function and even mental health. They point to studies showing that alterations in the gut microbiome can be associated with conditions like obesity, diabetes, and neurological disorders, suggesting that these microbes may be key players in the development and progression of these diseases. Some researchers propose that the microbiome could be a more effective target for therapeutic interventions than targeting the host organism's genes alone, as manipulating the microbial community may have a more direct and profound impact on health outcomes. The biome over genome concept also highlights the importance of environmental factors in shaping an organism's microbiome, such as diet, lifestyle, and exposure to toxins or antibiotics, which can all influence the composition and function of the microbial community. This idea challenges the reductionist view that an organism's traits and health are determined solely by its genes, and instead promotes a more holistic understanding of the complex interplay between an organism, its environment, and its microbial partners. As research into the microbiome continues to expand, the biome over genome perspective is gaining traction among scientists and healthcare professionals who recognize the potential for microbiome-based therapies and interventions to improve human health and well-being. While the exact mechanisms and extent of the microbiome's influence on organismal biology are still being explored, the biome over genome concept provides a compelling framework for understanding the intricate relationships between organisms and their microbial communities. Birther movement refers to the conspiracy theory that questioned the legitimacy of Barack Obama's presidency by claiming he was not a natural-born U.S. citizen, a requirement for holding the office of president according to the Constitution. The movement gained traction during Obama's 2008 presidential campaign and continued throughout his presidency, with proponents alleging that Obama was born in Kenya, not Hawaii, and that his birth certificate was a forgery. Supporters of the theory pointed to supposed inconsistencies in Obama's birth certificate, such as the absence of a raised seal or the presence of layered text, as evidence of its inauthenticity. Some birthers also claimed that Obama's childhood years spent in Indonesia and his father's Kenyan citizenship disqualified him from being a natural-born U.S. citizen, even if he was born in Hawaii. Despite the release of Obama's long-form birth certificate in 2011, which confirmed his birth in Honolulu, Hawaii on August 4, 1961, many birthers remained unconvinced and continued to promote the conspiracy theory. Some critics of the birther movement have argued that it was fueled, at least in part, by racism and the desire to undermine the legitimacy of the first African American president in U.S. history. This refers to the theory that the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin, known as Satoshi Nakamoto, is actually a group of individuals or an organization related to the banking industry. Proponents of this theory suggest that banks, seeking to maintain control over the financial system, created Bitcoin as a means to understand and potentially undermine the growing popularity of decentralized cryptocurrencies. By creating and releasing Bitcoin, the theory posits that banks could study the technology behind it, identify its weaknesses, and develop strategies to either co-opt or suppress the cryptocurrency movement. Some supporters of this theory point to the advanced technical knowledge required to create Bitcoin and the relative anonymity maintained by Satoshi Nakamoto as evidence that a single individual is unlikely to be behind the cryptocurrency's creation. They argue that a group of experts, possibly with ties to the financial industry, would have the collective knowledge and resources necessary to develop and launch a project as complex as Bitcoin. Additionally, the theory suggests that the bank's involvement in creating Bitcoin could explain why Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared from public view and ceased involvement with the project, as the banks may have wanted to distance themselves from the cryptocurrency once it gained traction. While there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, it has gained attention among some cryptocurrency enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists who are skeptical of the official narrative surrounding Bitcoin's origins. However, many experts in the field dismiss this theory, arguing that it is more plausible that Satoshi Nakamoto is indeed an individual or a small group of individuals unrelated to the banking industry, given Bitcoin's decentralized and anti-establishment ethos. The true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto remains a mystery, and the theory that banks created Bitcoin is just one of many speculative explanations that have emerged in the absence of definitive information about the cryptocurrency's creator. Black-eyed children refers to a paranormal phenomenon involving supposed encounters with mysterious children who have completely black eyes, lacking any visible sclera or iris. According to eyewitness accounts, these children, usually described as being between 6 and 16 years old, appear on doorsteps or approach people in public places, often asking for help or requesting to be let into homes or vehicles. Witnesses report feeling a sense of unease or dread when confronted by these black-eyed children, describing their behavior as odd, unsettling, or even threatening. Some paranormal researchers suggest that these children may be extraterrestrial beings, interdimensional entities, or some form of supernatural or demonic presence, disguising themselves as human children. Proponents of the black-eyed children phenomenon point to the consistency of the reports, with many witnesses describing similar experiences and details, such as the children's outdated clothing or their insistence on being invited inside. Some accounts even suggest that the black-eyed children possess mind control or hypnotic abilities, as witnesses often report feeling compelled to comply with their requests, despite their instinctive unease. While skeptics argue that these encounters can be attributed to overactive imaginations, misidentification, or exaggerated tales, believers in the phenomenon maintain that the sheer volume and consistency of the reports lend credence to the existence of black-eyed children. The idea of black-eyed children has gained popularity in paranormal circles, with numerous websites, forums, and books dedicated to documenting and discussing alleged encounters with these mysterious entities. Black helicopters refers to a conspiracy theory that suggests the existence of unmarked black-colored helicopters flying over various parts of the United States, allegedly conducting covert operations or surveillance on behalf of the government or some shadowy organization. Proponents of this theory claim that these helicopters are often seen in rural areas, near military bases, or flying over private property, leading to speculation about their purpose and the identity of their operators. Some believe that the black helicopters are connected to the United Nations, the New World Order, or a secret military unit, and that they are being used to monitor and control the population or to prepare for a future takeover. Witnesses have reported seeing these helicopters flying at low altitudes, sometimes without any visible markings or registration numbers, adding to the mystery and fueling conspiracy theories. The idea of black helicopters gained traction in the 1990s, particularly among right-wing militia groups and those who were suspicious of the government's motives and actions. Some conspiracy theorists point to the increased militarization of law enforcement and the existence of secret government programs as evidence that the black helicopters could be part of a larger, sinister plot. Others suggest that the black helicopters may be related to the government's alleged involvement in UFO cover-ups, with the helicopters being used to recover crashed alien spacecraft or to silence witnesses. While there have been confirmed sightings of unmarked, dark-colored helicopters, skeptics argue that these are likely connected to legitimate military training exercises, law enforcement operations, or private contractors, rather than any nefarious conspiracy. Black Knight satellite refers to a conspiracy theory that claims there is an ancient extraterrestrial spacecraft orbiting the Earth, predating human spaceflight technology. Proponents of this theory suggest that the satellite has been in orbit for approximately 13,000 years and was placed there by an advanced alien civilization to monitor human activity. The origins of the Black Knight satellite theory can be traced back to 1954, when newspapers reported on a supposed sighting of an unknown object in orbit by the U.S. Air Force. Some believers in the theory point to a photograph taken during the 1998 STS-88 mission of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, which appears to show a mysterious black object in low Earth orbit, as potential evidence of the satellite's existence. They argue that the object's shape and size are not consistent with known man-made satellites or space debris, suggesting that it could be of extraterrestrial origin. Conspiracy theorists have also linked the Black Knight satellite to various historical and mythological accounts, such as the Babylonian creation myth and the ancient Indian text, the Mahabharata, which mention flying objects and celestial battles. Some even claim that Nikola Tesla, the renowned inventor, intercepted radio signals from the Black Knight satellite in 1899, believing them to be communications from another world. However, skeptics and experts have debunked the Black Knight satellite theory, explaining that the object in the STS-88 photograph is likely a thermal blanket that was lost during a spacewalk, and that there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of an ancient alien spacecraft in orbit.